Hello, I'm Lucas. As you can see down here, it is the macronutrient intake for a weightlifter. As you can see, a weightlifter, most of their intake is carbohydrates. This is because the weightlifter has a large amount of carbs because it needs a large amount of energy in order to be able to lift the weight. And if they have more energy, the chances are they'll be able to lift a heavier weight. However, weightlifters do not have as much carbohydrates as a marathon runner. A marathon runner has a large amount of carbohydrates because it needs as much energy as possible because it is over a long distance. The type of carbs they will use will be complex carbs, as they are slowly released, meaning they can be used over the duration of the race. They're slowly released because they take a long time to break down. A weightlifter will use simple carbohydrates because they provide a short burst of energy and they're easier to break down, which is better suited to a weightlifter because they do not need energy over a long period of time, as it happens in short bursts. The amount of protein a weightlifter will need is a lot higher than the average intake. This is because they have to because protein helps growth and repair, meaning they can train more. Also, if you use all your primary energy source, protein will then be used, and protein can also help to grow muscle, and this will help you lift heavier weights, which will improve performance due to the heavier weights you can lift. Marathon runner, on the other hand, does not need much protein because it doesn't release as much energy. The type of proteins they will use are incomplete. This is because they also have sources of carbohydrates which are important for marathon runners. Protein does improve performance because as a marathon runner they are running for such a long time that if tears occur, which will happen naturally due to the fact they're running over such a long distance, they will need to be repaired so performance can not decrease and stay the same. The amount of fat intake for both athletes will be lower. A marathon runner would have a reduced amount of fat because they need a large amount of carbohydrates, which is their main energy source and is most important to them. However, they do still need some fat. This is for healthy skin and thermoregulation, which is still important for a marathon runner because they need their body temperature to remain at its level it works most efficiently, so enzymes can still work, which will mean performance will not drop off. Weightlifters are the same in that fact, but they also need fat to act as protection when they're lifting the heavy weights, as if they injure themselves, it reduces the chance of them injuring themselves, which could leave them out for a long time, meaning when they get back to full fitness, their performance will have dropped because they've not done it for a while due to the injury. Vitamins that a marathon runner will have would be vitamin B. It's because it helps the transport of energy, vitamin B helps transport blood and energy. Energy is needed towards the end of the race to perform, so the athlete can perform at their best, as they aren't wilting and losing their pace. Another vitamin they may use is vitamin D. This helps the absorption of calcium, which helps muscle contraction, otherwise they will not be able to run properly, decreasing performances if they have real technique and will not be able to keep a steady pace up. A mineral that a marathon runner may use is sodium. This helps balance water levels and stops dehydration, and if a marathon runner becomes dehydrated, their performance will massively drop off because their body doesn't have the water levels it needs to function properly. Another mineral they may a marathon runner may use is zinc. This helps respiration and takes CO2 away from muscles. This improves performance as muscles can work more efficiently because they have no carbon dioxide present. A weightlifter, vitamins that a weightlifter may use is vitamin D. It's because it's strong bones, and if you strong bones, it means it provides more, takes some of the stress off muscles, and it means you'll be able to lift more because your bones are more dense. Another vitamin a weightlifter may use is vitamin E. This can protect cell structure. This is needed due to heavy weights, which allows the body to function properly, because if the cells weren't protected, you could be put in serious danger from weightlifting. Minerals a weightlifter may use are potassium. This helps nerve function, and if you didn't have nerve function for a weightlifter, you would not be able to produce any skill or have any technique, as you do not have any control in your arms and your movement, your like fine motor skills. You wouldn't be able to move properly. Another mineral they may use is calcium. This is for muscle contraction, allowing them to lift the weight over their head. Because if they didn't have calcium, they wouldn't be able to do this because the muscles would not contract properly. Both athletes only need 18 grams of fibre a day. This is because it is not digested. Therefore, average intakes are all that is required. Fibre has no impact on performance. Therefore, however, you still do need some to prevent constipation, to help food moving through the gut efficiently. A marathon runner would need sufficiently more water than a weightlifter. A marathon runner would need 3 to 4 litres a day when competing. This is for thermoregulation and to transport energy to muscles and to take CO2 away. If this didn't happen and the body was not thermoregulated, enzymes could denature if the body got too hot, meaning they won't work properly, which would decrease performance as your body's not working properly. And CO2 needs to be taken away from the muscles, otherwise they will not be able to work properly, and energy needs to be transported to the muscles in order for contractions to happen and to keep on going. A weightlifter will only need around 2.5 litres of water a day. This is because they are training with a high intensity, so they still need energy and the body to be thermoregulated. The amount of physical activity they're taking part in is less over a duration of time, which is the opposite to a marathon runner, so they don't need lots of water for that reason. Got to the digestive system. The rectum is located just above the anus. The rectum acts as a temporary storage for feces before being released. The duodenum is located just below the stomach. It's a small part of the intestine. It receives partially broken down food and then breaks it down chemically in preparation for absorption. The stomach is just above the duodenum. The stomach is a large mixing bowl. It churns food up into a liquid called chyme, and cells in the stomach line, release digestive enzymes and hydrochloric acid, which help break it down and to digest the food and kill bacteria. The gallbladder is located near the duodenum. The gallbladder produces bile which is held in the liver until digestion happens, and it is needed to help break down food. The pancreas secretes digestive juices to break down food in the small intestine once the food's left the stomach. The liver filters and processes blood, which stops it clotting. The esophagus is the process of squeezing the food. The peristalsis, is the process of squeezing food through the esophagus down into the stomach. The anus is the function of expelling feces out of the body and getting rid of all the waste products. The small intestine is where chyme passes from the stomach to the small intestine and into the duodenum. It's mixed with more digestive juices from the pancreas. The pancreatic juices are made in the liver and contain bile and digestive enzymes. Concentrated bile is stored in the gallbladder. The villi is what lines the wall of the small intestines and releases the juices. Mouth. The digestion begins in the mouth. Teeth and jaws grind food down. The mouth also contains the enzyme amylase, which helps break food down with starch. Large intestines, where chyme reaches the large intestine, is mostly fluid and indigestible matter. It does not produce any digestive enzymes, and it helps turn the food into the waste products into feces, so it is ready to be expelled from the body. That is the end of my assignment. Thank you for watching.